Recently, Quinn and I went down to our local town hall and we spoke in the public comment section of our county commissioners meeting. And we want to show you guys the comments that we delivered. And we want to do this for two reasons. First of all, there's some pretty freaky stuff happening right now in our community, and we want to shine a light on it, and we want to let you guys know about it, because it's the same stuff that's happening in communities all across the United States. We are just one example. Secondly, and most important, we want to show you guys how easy it is. How easy it is to get involved in local politics, to speak up and have your voice heard. And it's not only easy, it's actually kind of fun, especially when you have a friend that you can take along to the meeting with you. You can kind of, jazz each other up and get pumped and go up there and say what you need to say, and then go back to the car and talk about it and how'd it go, how can we make it better next time. It becomes like a team activity. And so my challenge to you guys is to tune out of Fox News, turn off MSNBC. Tuning out does not mean disengaging, because you're going to unplug from the national stuff and you're going to plug into the local stuff. Take all of that attention that you've been putting into the national news, focus it in your community, and your county commissioners, your school board, your town council. Find out what they're up to. And if you don't like it, go to those meetings and speak up. And if you do like it, go to those meetings and speak up. So without further ado, here's me and Quinn exercising the demons down at our town hall. Good morning, commissioners. Last week, this board was presented with an opportunity that should have been an easy opportunity. A community organization that protects innocent women, children, and elders from abuse, protects them from neglect, from being starved, from being beaten, from being molested, asked your permission to apply for a grant worth $250,000. This funding, provided by the state of North Carolina, would not have required local taxpayers to contribute a single penny. No property tax increase, no bond referendum, no financial burden on your voters. All that was needed was a simple approval, and this community could have had the opportunity to receive $250,000 to support a cause that is profoundly, unequivocally, universally good. Approving this request would have allowed this board to help bring in significant funding to protect the most vulnerable members of our community, and again, at no cost to our local taxpayers. And yet that opportunity was smothered in the crib. Y'all wouldn't even dignify it with a vote. Why? Under normal circumstances, such a decision would be difficult to comprehend. However, it becomes clearer when we consider the possibility that a majority of this board believes that politics is more about hunting headlines than it is about helping humans. This decision was not just bureaucratic negligence. This was a moral failure. In Matthew 25, Christ tells us that on the day of judgment, he will separate the righteous from the wicked, not by their words, not by their politics, not by the color of their skin, but by their actions. Did you feed the hungry? Did you shelter the stranger? Did you protect the least among you? And to those who turn their backs, Christ says, depart from me. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. This board has turned its back. It has slammed the door. It has made a choice that it should have to defend to every woman beaten in their home, to every elder left to suffer in silence, and to every child in our community who cries out and has been met with this board's indifference. This board should have to look these folks in the eye, tell them why you refuse them, and tell them why your politics is more valuable than their protection. I yield my time.
And we thank you. Quinn, Ray, and while Mr. Ray is approaching, remember at the end of the meeting, we have county commissioner comments, and we often address your speakers at that time. So I would encourage you to stick around to the end of the meeting.
I appreciate that, Mr. Page. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stick around for the rest of the meeting. I do got to go to work. But good morning, board. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you having me. I come before you today as a community member, a neighbor, also as an elected leader. I'm a town council member in the town of Elon, also a father and a husband. And I also believe we have a responsibility to stand up for the most vulnerable in our community. I understand tough decisions. Believe me, I've had to make these decisions as a board member. I've been on the board for 6 years. Budgets are tight, priorities compete with each other, but this really should have been a no-brainer. It was on the consent agenda. The county has funded the FJC with grants before, allowed them to apply. But you denying the FJC just the opportunity to apply for a grant just applies. It doesn't reject the proposal. What it did is it showed that we turned our backs on women and children in our community who are trying to escape abuse, who need a safe space when they have nowhere else to go. I contemplated coming up here and talking, but this just really, it felt something, especially being a dad of 2 beautiful girls. So just imagine for a moment that you are a mother. You have a broken nose and bruised ribs. You're terrified. You're clutching your kid's hand at night because home isn't safe anymore. Imagine the courage it takes to leave. We know it's difficult. But then to ask for help. And then imagine finding out that that help you need isn't there because the very people that we've elected to serve us chose not to help with these resources. And this isn't about politics. This isn't about just people. This is about dignity. This is about survival. This is about people's lives. So whether we are going to be leaders in this community and protect the most vulnerable among us, or are we just going to put them to the way? So today I ask you to search your conscience, to ask yourself, who do we really serve? Because this isn't a left or right decision. To ask yourself, do I have the courage to do better, to be better? Because our community, our families, our futures, my daughters, they depend on organizations like FJC. I yield my time.
And we thank you.